I know with loneliness, like that can be a struggle with a lot of people, but in your case, like, is your loneliness like kind of coming from the noise that you're used to around, or is it kind of like you've just been, I don't know, yeah, like with the busyness and with all these different things that are going on right now, like because you've been used to them, you're scared of silence in a sense. Like I kind of want to
Yeah, I mean,
learn more about that.
it's hard to verbalize like with words exactly the feeling. I'll try my best. It's not that I'm I mean, of course I'm used to environments. I'm very social. Like
Hmm.
if I when I go to places, you're a stranger 1 second and you're a buddy the next.
Hmm.
Any setting, any culture, any background, like truly a gift. But I realize when like I'm by myself, it's like I'm quick to like make a phone call or listen to something or um, do something that gets my mind in this outside of my own head.
Mm.
But I've also noticed the power of being alone too.
Yeah,
But it almost like it comes at a heavy like responsibility, but it's taxing because it's like you really face yourself,
that's true.
like just you and you, no one else, no one. Just it's just you, and of course the Lord. So I'm realizing more and more how um, I do need to improve in this area for sure. And maybe it does come from partly from a place of perfectionism too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny that because something I have struggled with before, and I've gotten much better. Because again, it's like to me, I'm always like I feel like productivity is my mindset at
Mm.
times versus just like just enjoy the moment.
Mm. Yeah.
And I'm really good with enjoying the moment with people. I'm not so good enjoying it with myself.
Yeah.
That's
So,
big.
and not that I've never done it, but I definitely is an area, and maybe this is what's contributing to my state of being in this current season
Mm.
is because I have been in moments that I'm alone more often
Mhm.
because like I'm not maybe at the at the shop every single day or I'm just and I get frustrated or I get like anxious
Mhm.
and it kind of like a spiral effect. Then you don't do anything, then you feel guilty, and then you just waste time, and then you repeat it.
I think
Yeah.
one of the biggest things I can have appreciation for is you have the awareness to know this is the things that you're struggling with.
Yeah.
I think the biggest challenge for most people in breaking bad patterns or developing another attribute to their uh, self is first having the awareness.
Mm.
Because it's one thing if I tell you, "Hey, I've been aware of what you've been doing," but it's another thing for you to be aware. So
Mm.
that's the first step to growing or changing a bad pattern, is being aware. So you've conquered that, and I think that's the biggest challenge. But now you have to find a solution. You have to find ways to change those feelings.
Yeah.
So you're I think that you're on the right track because you're aware of these things without people telling you.
Yeah.
So you just have to identify like what it is and what are the reasons, what are the possible triggers to change those things.
Yeah.
And you'll be right on path.
And it might be where. Go ahead. Sorry.
Can I get a little bit spiritual? Is it okay if I get
Yes, Pastor
spiritual?
Messi.
Can I get a little bit spiritual? Um, I know you like to be around people, right? And like you want to be able to help others. Like, and I see that within you. Like you're a person that's like willing to give their arm and their leg to somebody in order to help. And I
Yeah.
see that. I don't want this at the moment, but maybe later. When I need it. But like honestly, like I could see that within you. Something I like am reminded of in scripture is like the greatest commandments, right? Like what Jesus says, and this can be kind of like an opinionated subject in some sense, but whenever Jesus is sharing these like two commandments, like two of the greatest commandments, he basically summarizes all of the law within these two commandments: is love the Lord your God, right, and love people, love your neighbor in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is the second half of love your neighbor. It says love your neighbor as yourself. I think what people struggle with is not necessarily like loving their neighbors, but maybe the root of not knowing how to love their neighbors is actually not knowing how to love themselves the right way. And I like realized that just a little bit even within myself about how it wasn't about like, oh, I gotta love myself and all this stuff. Like it was genuinely like at times I was taking shots against myself, not realizing that I was actually taking shots at how God created me. And it was like, dang, actually, I carry the image of God. I carry this thing inside of me. And it's like, I have to learn not to love myself, not because like I'm this great guy or something like that, but it's because I carry God's image. And when we learn to love God through that, like learn to love ourselves correctly, then we can love others correctly. So it's like you already are in a place where you love people so intentionally, but I could even see like the more you learn to enjoy like just being by yourself and growing yourself and learning to how to love yourself in a godly way, because there's
Yeah.
ungodly ways to do that, and like there's uh very selfish ways to do that, like to love yourself, right? But there's sometimes like a selfless way that Jesus offers, and it's not by looking about how great we are, but how great He is through us. And when we know that God's image is inside of us, like we can learn to just enjoy that and be able to enjoy the silence, be able to enjoy like those moments of helping ourselves, because as we're doing that, we're actually learning more and more how to help each other as well. Because then you start realizing the image of God isn't just in me, it's in you. It's in you. It's in all of us, right? And we need to be able to learn how to love in that sense. But I don't know. I just kind of wanted to take that turn real quick because I see that in you a lot, Elijah. Like you do love people so well. Imagine if you did like take that time
Mm.
and just like went away and better helped yourself to better help others.
Yeah.
Because like to be fully honest, like you being in that place, you're not actually your best self to help others.
Right.
And like I know that it can get more and more stressful and like a lot of things can happen with good stuff, but like you genuinely I think like that next step is to take that time alone. Like don't be afraid of it, because it's like even us being alone, we're not alone. We're with God. Like there's never actually a point of loneliness. It's just getting away to get time with God.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like the also, I don't know, maybe that's like kind of the struggle as well, like sitting with just you and
Bro,
God.
I've always struggled with that. Like sitting down, my mind, it's
Yeah.
tough. I remember in high school or even middle school when we had assignments like to read a book,
Mm-hmm.
and I just couldn't do it. Like,
Mm.
in of course I did it, but I waited till the last second, then I would sit down. Or if I'm trying to read a book, and I would sit down, and then I can't stop.
Mm.
But it's getting to the place to start
Mm.
of just like enjoying the moment, enjoying the reading the book,
Mm-hmm.
whether that be a Bible or a leadership, because I do believe in quality of content.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that be book, music, podcast, sermons. I have been very intentional,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe the content that I need to receive is silence,
Mm.
and just to like.
That's good.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but you see what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Silence is a very
silence is
awkward.
difficult. It's
We
difficult
did just
for
experience that in
Dude.
in the podcast.
like
even in like
I like it.
in
Yeah.
churches, man. Like again, I see this like, man, people are so afraid of silence even in church. Like
Oh my God.
imagine, because I look at, for instance, the prophet Elijah. You guys remember the story of when Elijah was on the mountain, he ran away because like he ran away from Jezebel, King Ahab, all that. Like he ran away, went to the mountain, and God's asking him like, Elijah, why are you here? Elijah, why are you here? Um, um, and this is actually crazy because this is
Go
like,
ahead.
wow, what the heck? It's your name, and this is like a really fitting story. But Elijah is like coming up to the mountain, and he shares like the struggle, he shares what he's going through. And then there's all these like significant things that happen. There's a moment where Elijah sees an earthquake and like everything shakes. Then there's this wind that's so strong that even like the rocks are kind of like broken because of this strong wind. And then there's fire, which is very significant because there's this fire that just comes out of nowhere. Elijah is very familiar with fire because right before that moment, he actually witnessed God move through fire by coming down from there in front of all of the prophets of Baal, like the false prophets. And he knew that, but God wasn't in any of that. He wasn't in the wind, he wasn't in the fire, he wasn't in an earthquake. You know what he was in? The whisper. The very still small voice. And it's like I see this in churches, man. Sometimes we are looking for God to move in such a powerful, amazing way. We're looking at how much fire we can produce spiritually for people. Like we want to see so many lives like changed in the fire of God in our services. And like sometimes we view the fire of God as like more music, more loudness, more smoke, more lights, more this, more that, when it's actually like the fire of God is like a still small voice. And it's like that's what churches need, because right now there's so much noise, man. There's so much noise. There's so many things like in the news that we keep seeing of like people and like school shootings, church shootings, like Charlie Kirk like being shot, being assassinated. It's more than just that though. There's so many other things, and it's just noise, 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 noise. We don't need more noise. We need to just like silence ourselves, because you embody a generation that doesn't know how to sit with themselves. Like it's not just you. Like there's so many people that are struggling, and I think it kind of comes from COVID as well, where it's like we went back to our homes and we struggled with sitting with ourselves. And so that's where we ended up falling into a bunch of other things and falling into bad ideologies. And like, it's a struggle, but like, we need to be able to like just calm ourselves down and listen to God's voice, because he wants to whisper. You know what's unique about a whisper? God can move from a distance when he pours down fire from all these different things, but the only way you hear a whisper is by getting closer. The only way you hear a whisper is by getting closer to him. And like that, to be honest, is such a difficult thing, but it's required. Like we need to get closer to him, and we want to hear his whisper. He's going to keep whispering. And it's like, if we don't hear his voice, we have to get even quieter. You know, we have to like dig deeper, and it's necessary, you know? So sorry to go on that like train of thought, but I was just thinking about that, and your name's Elijah, so it just fit, you know?
It did.
So,
And I think, I know we'll move to the next check-in. I think at the same time, like you said, like the whisper that, because God is always talking. It's just we're always not, we're yapping and we're not listening.
yeah.
But it's also then what makes it hard is that it's hard to build genuine and deep relationships with each other, because we don't really listen
Yep.
to what's going on. Like I'm not hearing you, or I'm hearing you, but I'm not listening.
Yeah.
And like how often are we like, even this could be a whole separate thing, is like family dynamics. Like this probably, if you have parents, and we all do, whether guardian, grandparents, biological, adopted, whatever the case is, we are raised in an environment. When I say we, I'm saying people, where their parents don't listen to them, but they've always told them what's going on, but they never took. Oh, I put you in this world. I'm gonna take you out. You know, it's like this mindset of like, oh, why are you disobeying? I'm your parents. You live in my household. True. But if you want to be a great parent, you want them to come back to your household when you're old. And so something that I'm realizing too is like the struggle that the children have a lot of times manifests more so because just the parents are not listening. In friends too. And for me, again, it is a reflection of like, are we listening to God? But it starts with like each other. And that's why I love our dynamic, is because like um, we have learned and are developing the ability to listen, to see the struggle. Yeah, you might outburst, or you might be annoyed or afraid, or whatever the case is, but there's a deeper issue. So instead of me reacting to your reaction,
Yep.
let me just listen and see, okay, what's going on.
Yeah, that's good.
And so, and that's the thing about this way, any coach, professor, faculty member that we right now, if we say, hey, they've impacted my life, it's because they listen to us.
Yeah.
Because they create an atmosphere where we can share with them what's going on.
Yeah.
And they loved us for it. Maybe not agree with 100%, but at least created a safe space for us to share and be honest and vulnerable. Same thing with friends.
Yeah.
I heard this saying that a great friend is a good friend over a long period of time. It's easy to be friends, if you just meet someone in high school and after high school graduates, right? And then from there you move on. But a great friend is a good friend over a long period of time. And the reason this is special is because we have been friends since middle school. Like, think about that.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but yeah, I'm just like blessed to call you guys friends and brothers.
Yeah.
Man, how do we go to the next check-in?
I know, that's a big one. That was actually a big one. But it's so good, man. Like what you were just mentioning here, because it's like almost this like pressure to not talk about how stressful it is to be successful. Like there's this like random like, dude, I get that because I have this innate fear myself of the fact that even though God has been blessing me in like this season, I felt like really stressed about stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm able to handle this. And like, there's a sense of even like imposter syndrome. Was going to be like my little struggle in a sense. But like, it's just difficult because like of all the leadership things that are going on, like God's been blessing it, but it's almost like I don't feel comfortable talking about it because it's something good, So it's like the more good happens just because it's good, it doesn't mean it's not stressful. And like, I don't know, there's like this unspoken pressure that like you can't talk about that.
I think more successful people should do that though.
Yes.
Because it gives a sense of reality to the average person.
Yeah.
The person who's working more towards success. Like we think that once we get there, that's it. I gotta be stressed no more.
No, buddy.
Right, but like maintaining it, and that's why it goes back to kind of what I was alluding to, is like we gotta choose our heart and embrace it. Because no matter what you do, like it's going to create tension. So I think that more people being willing to admit that success is stressful still, it gives a sense of reality to people who are still working to get to that point, to know that like they're human, one, and then also like I gotta embrace whatever I'm in right now because it's not going to get any easier when it comes to the stress. So it's good, like having that feeling of imposter syndrome. Like even like professional athletes, like the biggest, most successful athletes, have come out and say something like that. So I think it's part of the human nature at times. Right. So.
But it comes down to, how do we define success?
I think it's
so go into a little bit into that, and then
success is defined by one's own measure. So if I set out to do my goals and I achieve those goals, I can define that as my success. If I look at the society success and I compare it to what I want my success to look like, then I might feel as though I'm not successful. Does that make sense? Like, so I think that we have to do a good job of pinpointing what we want our future and our goals to look like. And once we achieve those goals, we can call ourselves successful. But we got to be careful because we don't want to compare ourselves to other people who are successful.
Yeah.
Because then that's when they can get a little bit confusing. But once an individual meets their own goals, I think that that's a good way to define yourself as successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I look at success as.
But is that true success? Because like I'm thinking, as a business guy, entrepreneur, can you be successful at the wrong things?
Yeah. I
Right.
think
So
I think so.
yeah.
100%.
So if like let's say,
If
go ahead.
if there's a measuring stick and I'm competing in that measuring, then we can dictate what success looks like.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing something like if we're talking about the word successful, if I am doing something that's not positive to the world, but I'm
Make it.
succeeding at it, like right, that's success. But again, it comes down to your own personal measurement. So if I'm calling success on things that are not typically what you would see as success,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, because like I look at it from a perspective. I do agree.
yeah,
Right. You have a measure. You have a mark. You meet the mark. Exceed it. Success. I have been thinking about the idea of maybe success is doing the right thing at the right time with what God told you to do.
Yes. Yeah.
And so if that means opening a Fortune 500 company, so be it. But if that means being a stay-at-home mom and raising the best possible
Yeah.
kids,
Dude.
that's success. If that means starting a coffee shop and a bakery that's world renowned, but God called you there, that's success.
Yeah.
But if that means just every weekend you go out and you donate your time
Yeah.
to the community, giving away something,
Yes.
that's success.
I agree.
So I see both sides, but I think at the end of the day, when the Lord takes us, hopefully it's in a very long time, but hey, Lord, if you comes tomorrow, we'll be ready. When we are before the Father and we look face to face, right? I don't think we won't, because of how impure we are, we probably won't be able to even look at him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But in our presence, what is he going to say? Is he going to smile and say, well done,
Yeah.
you good and faithful servant? Or is he going to shake his head?
Mm.
I told you to do this. Why did you? Well, God, I grew my company to $1 million. I did this. I did. But God's like, I never told you to do that, though.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
that's where this literally wraps all around being still
Yep.
and hearing.
Mm-hmm.
What is the Lord telling you to do?
Yes.
And once He tells you, go.
Yeah.
If He says stop, stop. If He says go, go. But the issue is and I've felt into this myself, is we think just because we see progress,
Mhm.
success, monetary, accolades, then that equates to the will of God.
Yeah.
So
Dude, that's true. It's if we define success by materialistic things, that like benchmark, that goal that we're going against is going to keep fluctuating.
yeah,
Like that's the truth. Like you're going to keep trying to hit this goal, and then next thing you know something happens and you got to go down and up and down and up and down. But when you like look at the fact that the success is defined by God's good and perfect will, like it doesn't matter what necessarily happens in life.
yeah,
It could be the worst of the worst. Job's dude, the story of Job is crazy. The fact that Job's purpose was to sustain all that he sustained, to show faithfulness to God. Like most people when they look at Job, they say he was very unsuccessful. He did not complete his purpose. Like he wasn't a successful person in life because he lost this, he lost that. But like actually he fulfilled God's purpose.
yeah,
Like it's not defined by how much money I have. It's not defined by like how big my house is or how many accolades,
Yeah.
awards and places that I've spoken at or trophies that I've won. It doesn't matter. Like when we realize it's defined by God's good and perfect will, the one place that we will continue to go into is the closet, the private place. Like the place where the secret place, like God is calling us there to seek after him. When we realize we need to just like be silent and sit still in him, like that's where we find true success because we know what he wants us to do and that's what we follow. Because like if you have the Holy Spirit, like he will guide you and lead you, but sometimes we suppress it with like doing more, doing more, doing more. And again, we just gotta like just like sit, you know? So that's so good, man. That's so good. But
Yeah, this is good. I love it.
I
This
love
is
it.
great. I think there's a. I've been thinking about this quote a buddy of mine said. He's Hispanic, and I'm not gonna say it in Spanish because I don't know Spanish. But it was almost like to the point. Well, two quotes actually. He said, like, slow down, like, hey, you're rushing. Slow down.
Mm.
Like you're going so fast. He's like, hey, slow down. You're rushing. That was interesting. But then the really interesting quote that I still remember to this day, when we were in the middle of starting, my brother and I, Timmy, our detailing company, we went to a training session in Florida, you know, the home of Jesse Gulia. And there was a professional. He's been in the game for like 30 plus years, well known in the industry for like polishing ceramic coatings um, when it comes to vehicle. And he said a quote that I just like, if you really think about it, is so profound. He said, the slower you go, the faster you finish.
Mm.
Slower you go, the faster you finish. What was he implying? Is that in a vehicle it has a clear coat, right? And you have a buffer, a dual action. There's different styles. When you're going so fast, that doesn't mean all the scratches will go away.
Mm-hmm.
You might get the job done faster, but then what you have to do is you have to, like, after you wipe down, inspect it and go over it again. What he was saying is take your time with it. Don't rush. Because if you do it right the first time, you don't have to redo your work.
Mm.
And it kind of, in a way, summarizes what we talked about it for my check-in. Was like, Elijah, slow down.
Yeah.
Like, slow down to get clarity. Where do you have to go? And once you get the clarity,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Boom.
you go to the finish line.
Yeah.
So, man, it's crazy how this was, thank you to both of you again for
Yeah.
allowing me to be vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
and honest and creating a safe space of me not feeling judged,
Mm-hmm.
not feeling like you're a loser for sharing this, but at the same time, like, this is more valuable, to me than most people realize.
Yeah.